Pokémon, a franchise that took the world by storm and defined the childhoods of many. It has only gotten more popular with time, but what was Pokémon like way back then? More specifically, how has competitive Pokémon changed over the years for those striving to be the very best? Now that is exactly what we are here to find out. In this series, Jeexx and I will embark on an adventure to be the very best, exploring through time and space to rediscover Pokémon's past formats. In each episode, both of us will bring two teams and battle it out in a best of 3 match, and the one who wins with both teams first is crowned the champion of the episode. We hope you enjoy this trip to Pokemon's evolution with us. Welcome to the Pokemon Progression Series, A Journey Through Time. Generation 1, Red, Blue and Yellow, the spark that started the bonfire that would burn for decades with the first 151 Pokemon, was an absolutely unbalanced mess. Based in the Kanto region, which itself is based in the region of the same name in Japan, it saw the most powerful Pokemon that ever exist in Mewtwo, had some very interesting mechanics, and it was widely dominated by Psychic and Normal types. Notable features and differences when compared to modern Pokemon in Generation 1 were the following, and strapping this list is a doozy. Generation 1 had no held items or abilities, those would come later, and instead of the modern EVs and IVs, a DV mechanic with 15 max in each stat and no limitation or real reason to not have these all max was in place. Special is one single stat responsible for both offense and defense on the special side for the Pokemon, and no physical special split yet, and instead move type was defined by whether a move is physical or special, and the types can be seen on the screen right now. As already mentioned, Psychic and Normal were the king when it came to types of Pokemon, mostly due to a lack of good fighting type moves, as well as Psychic only being resisted by itself, having an immunity to Ghost instead of a weakness, and the complete absence of Dark in Generation 1. Other type related things include Bug and Poison hitting each other for super effective damage, Fire not resisting Ice, Ghost not resisting Bug, as well as the absence of the aforementioned Dark, as well as Steel, and obviously Fairy that would come way later. Generation 1 also had really wonky trap and status mechanics, where trapping and sleep both require a full turn to snap out of, and you can't use move on the turn that you snap out of it, and freeze you cannot be thawed out of unless hit with a fire type move that can inflict burn, and also there were some very clear bugs as well, like Body Slam not being able to paralyze normal types. Hyper Beam also had no recharge if it KO'd a Pokemon or hit a substitute, which made it an incredibly powerful move, and crit chance was based on the Pokemon speed stat instead of being the same random chance for everybody.
Guys and gals, welcome back to the Pokemon Progression Series, and apologies for my voice, as with last team breakdown, I was still a little bit shocked, but it should be fine. But this time, we're doing these before the actual, also I forgot to go full screen, before the actual episode recording, which we're about to do like literally after this. But we are doing a ZU this time around, just like with PU. I have no idea honestly what it stands for. It is just, if you ignore stuff like Lil Cup, it is the lowest power that usually there is available, the lowest level of power there is in a metagame, and at least in later generations, it has usually the largest pool of available Pokemon, but for this one it's a little different. But we have two teams here. Once again, I'll be honest, I have no idea how these will perform. But for the first one, I have a double sweep in status. It's what I call it. It's basically, we have Dragonair here kind of as a Thunder Wave spreader, paralysis spreader, access to Blizzard and Thunderbolt to just hit basically anything, and agility if I get a favorable matchup to maybe set up for free to be able to outspeed the entire metagame. And then we have Hypno here with Hypnosis and Thunder Wave, access to either status as need be, and Psychic and Seismic Toss to hit literally anything. We have Parasect with Spore and Stun Spore. Spore being incredible because it is 100% accurate, well 99.61% accurate sleep. And then Sword Dance Body Slam, once again to be able to spread status as needed. As you can see, like we just have a bunch of status here. Then we have Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee mostly here just because I actually really like Hitmonlee. I don't think it's very good. As you can see, this this move pool is absolutely atrocious. Seismic Toss is there to hit Ghost types, Body Slam for anything else, and then High Jump Kick, because High Jump Kick is better submission. High Jump Kick, probably the best available fighting type move in Generation 1. It just, most Pokemon don't get it, but luckily Hitmonlee does. And the thing about this metagame is stuff like Onyx, I feel like, is actually going to be really good. So Onyx is something that Hitmonlee can hit for super effective. But apart from that, and Lickitung, like, and I guess Ammonite in a way, like, it doesn't have a great matchups here, but still, like, I want to still have fun with it and use mons that I actually think are cool. Then we have our primary sweeper, Scyther, with Sword Stance, Wing Attack, Slash, and Hyper Beam. Obviously, Sword Stance Slash doesn't really work too well with this, and Scyther outspeeds the entire metagame if there are no agilities up. I was initially going to go for essentially a double dance setup with Sword Stance and agility, but I decided against it. But it's our primary sweeper, and then we also have Tentacool here with Hydro Pump, Surf, Blizzard, and Substitute. Could go for, I was gonna go for Wrap, but the thing about ZU is trapping moves are banned. So it was basically like, do I go for a more accurate Ice Beam or do I go for a more damaging Water type move? And I decided to go for the aforementioned one. Although, you know what? We'll do Ice Beam. Fine. I feel like I'd rather be using the, it's Gen 1. Let's just embrace the chaos and go for the less accurate stuff. Yeah, I'll stick to that plan. Right, the idea here is to have a bunch of status going around and then be able to set up on Scyther and then just absolutely nuke through everything. That's hopefully also chipped. We also have a bunch of stuff here that's really hard to swap into. And I realized I went through the second team first, not like it matters. But for the other team, we can do the second team first then. For the other team, we have another setup. Here, Sandslash being the major setup sweeper for this one, so with Sword Stance, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Substitute. A really good move pool with access to Sword Stance. Not bad at all, but the speed stat is the main issue here. So here as well, we have a Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Psychic, and Mega Drain for a Butterfree to be able to just spread status. We have a Fire Blast, Hyper Beam, Body Slam, and Quick Attack for Vaporeon. I would have otherwise had, instead here, I would have had Fire Spin, but decided against it. And decided against it. It's banned. What? I did not decide against it. But I decided to go for Hyper Beam because Vaporeon has a really good base attack. Then we have Prime Up with Hyper Beam, Seismic Toss, Rock Slide, and Body Slam. And also Pidgeot with... Basically, I think this is, apart from Wing Attack instead of Drill Peck, which is obviously huge. Wait, why do I have 35 base power? 40 base power. Why am I running Wing Attack instead of Gust? I'm smart. I literally was thinking like, okay, I mean, at least Wing Attack is a... Gust is a normal type move. That's why. I'm doing this very shortly after I woke up. I'm so sorry. But Agility is here to set up on stuff that we can set up on. And then finally, we have a Coffin with Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Sludge, and Explosion. Basically, just this thing is impossible to switch into. It can hit everything, it can explode into stuff that is harder for it to deal with. And I'll be honest here, the more I'm thinking about these teams, the more I'm in a situation where I kind of want to just swap Scyther and Sandslash. And I feel like they fit the other teams better. You know what? This is gonna be a first. This is literally just here so I can import this. We will, because when I made these teams, I literally went like, usually when I do stuff like this, I take a bunch of just mons that I feel like complement each other relatively well, and I just roll with that. But for this one, this just fits the Thunder Wave spamming core so much better. So we'll do this instead. The name doesn't fit here though, so we'll just go. We'll call him. This is the hardest part. We'll call him Franklin. Franklin the Sandslash. I don't know why, but his name's not Franklin. And then let me grab this back from here. We do not need this anymore. And it is pretty funny that the team called Sandslash Setup is now with no Sandslash. It's what? Bro kills you. I'm bad with names, okay. I apologize. But yeah, I think this makes more sense. Because Scyther would like the chip more. Obviously the paralysis would be nice to set up on, but I still think this makes more sense for a late game Sandslash sweep. So yeah. Sorry for the unorganized team breakdown, but that's going to be what we're doing today. Hopefully you enjoyed my breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed Jeexx's as well. And we will see you in the battle zone. And this is actually kind of sick to see, because right after I end my recording, we're going into it. So we'll see you in the battle zone.
Okay, so we're doing Gen 1 ZU, which I think it's 0 usage. Cloudy in chat told me that it's actually 0 understanding, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So first off, we're running Mux, Scyther, Onyx, Parasect, Poliwag, Lickitung, and I think I missed something. I don't care. First and foremost, we're running Monk as a lead with Explosion, Sludge, Thunderbolt, Body Slam. I'm still thinking of maybe about swapping the Body Slam, because we're still... This is before the match, obviously. I'm still thinking I could maybe run something like Fire Blast on it, or I could maybe run something else like Mega Drain to check all the rock ground types, all the water types, and just generally something for more coverage, because Explosion is going to be something that I used to deal with. I'm going to just blow up on a Scyther. I'm just going to blow my load on a Scyther, And I'm going to use Sludge to check anything that is a grass type. So, for example, Parasect, obviously. There's not many grass types in this, so it's not going to be that relevant. Thunderbolt for, Poliwag and Ammonite and Firefetch and a couple other stuff. And, yeah, obviously, Body Slam or Fire Blast to check pretty much everything else. But, I think, now that I think about Fire Blast over Sludge is probably not worth it, because it doesn't have stab. So, yeah. So, then we have Scyther. Scyther with Sword Stance, Slash, Wing Attack, Hyper Beam. I was originally running Agility instead of Wing Attack, because I was thinking, well, obviously I want to have Agility, but Agility doesn't do anything for me, because critting with Hyper Beam instead of just Sword Stancing means that I do less damage. So I would rather always run Sword Stance over Agility, so I can get +2 on Wing Attack and a Hyper Beam. So yeah, Wing Attack obviously to check stuff like fucking Parasect. Parasect here has Mega Drain, Growth, Spore, Body Slam. I'm still thinking about maybe swapping out the Growth. I mostly just put it in there for a for filler. I should probably be running this instead, but just running Spore, Sun Spore, Body Slam, Mega Drain. Well, I'll think about that a bit more. You'll see what my actual set is in the actual match. So yeah, we have Onyx in here with Explosion, Rock Slide, Bind, Earthquake. Bind, obviously, because it's fairly fast, it's defensively strong. You can click Bind to stall stuff out, and then if need be, if your opponent is starting to swap out, you can always just blow up on this thing that they're swapping into. Yeah. Then we have Poliwag with Psychic, Amnesia, Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Sweeper, simple as, come in, Amnesia, pray. Pray that you land your Hydro Pump, pray that you land your Blizzard, pray that... Well, Psychic is always going to hit, but still. Lickitung as a Sword Stab, Body Slam, Earthquake, Sweeper with Blizzard for coverage. I don't really know if I want to keep Blizzard on here. I maybe want to put just Hyper Beam on here, because this thing could be fairly menacing. But yeah, I'll think about that a bit more in a second. Then we have the second team, which has Golbat, Drowsy, Butterfree, Magmar, Weezing, Sandslash. With Confuse Ray, Mega Drain, Rest, Hyper Beam, Bleed for Golbat. Still thinking about the Hyper Beam a little. I think Double Edge could make more sense with Rest as an option. But at the same time, Hyper Beam can actually probably chunk shit out, whereas I'll think about that a bit more too. I know this is a really unfinished team, but I figured I want to get this out of the way before we get to the actual matches, so that I don't end up forgetting to record it before the matches. So sorry about this. Then we have Hypnosis, Thunderwave, Psychic, Seismic Toss on Drowsy. Obviously, I would say this is a pretty standard set for Drowsy. Thunderwave, obviously, really good option. Maybe even using this as a lead instead of Goldback could be an option if we could decide it on based off of the matchups and stuff. But I think Confuse Ray being 100% accuracy with one of the fastest or for one of the highest speed stats in the tier is a pretty worth investment. Then I can just kind of pivot into anything else on there because I'm just going to assume that he's going to pivot into something to deal with my Goldbat, so on and so forth. Then we have the Drowsy, obviously, with Psychic and Seismic Toss. I think Seismic Toss allows me to check some stuff like the bugs, for example. There's 2 bugs in this that I think... Actually, yeah, 2 bugs. There's Scyther and Butterfree, which I'm obviously hovering over right now. I just can't forget the name. Which I think resist. I might be mistaken on that, but... Well, anyway. Moving on, Butterfree, Double Powder, Psychic, Mega Drain. I already have a Double Powder Pokemon on the other team with Parasect, so I just kind of put another one in here. And I think this can be pretty strong. I think this could learn Leech Life, but Leech Life sucks. Right? Oh, can't even learn Leech Life. Never mind. But then we have Magmar with Fire Blast Submission, Psychic, Body Slam Submission to check for the 1 normal type in this, maybe, or even, let me double check, I might be mistaken, some of the ground types and rock types, which I'm going to assume Weebfox is going to be using to check my Magmar, and I think that this can be really good against those. Fire Blast, obvious. Psychic, pretty obvious. I think a lot of poison types in this, and Body Slam, I think, again, pretty obvious, just to get a free attempt at a Paralyze on a Switch-In, for example. There's no Ghost types in this, so it's completely fine. There's nothing that can punish me for just clicking Body Slam on a Switch-In. Then we have Weezing, Explosion, Thunderbolt, Sludge, Fire Blast. This is pretty much the same setup that I was thinking about for Muck. Pretty self-explanatory. It's not a lead in here because I feel like having a Confuse Ray, Mega Drain, Rest, Hyper Beam lead, or like a Double Edge instead of Hyper Beam lead could be more annoying to deal with, and that's what I mostly want this team to be. Sandslash with EQ, Surge, Stance, Slash, and Body Slam. Again, self-evident, just fast physical sweeper. Not very fast, actually, kind of slow, but like defensively bulky, high attack. I think this can do a lot of damage. There's a lot of flying types in this that like can be annoying, so I'm hoping to get rid of those using like Drowsy, Magmar, Weezing, so on and so forth, before I have to actually run my Sandslash. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this goes. Good luck with the games.
Start.
I need to actually validate my teams real quick.
Oh,
just to be sure.
Actually, you know what? Now when you said that, since I made some changes, let me just check that these are fine as well. You made me go.
Oh.
That's
so yeah, trapping moves are all banned in ZU, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. That's annoying.
Damn, I can't believe I can't use this broken mechanic in this fucking piss law.
Literally, you trapping moves in every format up until now, and now that I'm like, fuck it, I'll use trapping moves. The game's like, nuh-uh.
Of course, I'm playing according to the rules.
Bro!
It's a metagame. What can I say?
It's so fucked up.
I like it. I mean, there's Ubers next time, and then you can use all the trapping moves you'd like.
Wow.
Because there you can do anything you wanna. But yeah. I don't have much to say, at least here yet. We can some yapping on how I thought the stuff went. As we've established, both of us this time we're like, I just think these mons are cool. Let me use some cool mons and see what happens, and we'll see how that goes. But is there anything else that you'd like to say before we get to it?
Muck backwards is.
It sure is. You're not wrong. That's right.
That's all. And it comes backwards? You know that one?
And on that...
That's a real hard one, fella.
They really cooked. You won't believe what if you do the same for Arbok. You won't believe what you get there. They cook with these names, man.
Holy shit. These names are insane.
My favorite is literally that the fact that somebody went like after someone, guys, we can make these snake and a cobra. And there's like, yo, we can make this. Come. And
yeah.
The same like important board member there went for both of those. Yo, that's a good idea. They cook with these names, is all I'll say.
And it's a poison type too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, are we ready to enter the Colosseum?
Eh,
We'll do that. So I will send you a challenge in about a minute's time. So best of luck to you, gamer, and I will see you after the games.
oh yeah. Good luck, good luck.
Good luck. And we are deafened. All right. Let me we'll start with this one because I think the other one is probably no. Yeah, we'll start with that. Let me find Jeexx over here. Let me send him a challenge and we will go Gen 1 ZU. And we will start with the Scyther one and wish him best of luck. I'll still be talking about everything that I'm doing here, but I just won't be as, you know, I won't talk about it as much because you know how it is. So Muck, and I think this thing gets Fire Blast, but honestly, I don't wanna. Oh yeah, I'm realizing that I am really. That's why it was Sandslash in this team. I lose the Thunderbolt. You know what? I remember Butterfree was Bug and Poison. I'm not gonna lie. But we hit the Sleep Powder at least. And now the question is, do we immediately go into this thing and see what we can do? I think we do. Fuck it. It is asleep. Let's set up an SD. Let's set up another SD. And do we set up one more SD? Or do we just start? Do we just start clicking things? There's the Gen 1 mechanics, so yeah, never mind. We start clicking stuff here. Oh, and I don't even need to. Okay, and we take game 1. Okay, well, this team is dog shit, so I'm so happy that that happened. Okay, not happy, but you know what. We take what we can get, and we love Gen 1 sleep mechanics. And now let's take this actually good team. But yeah, I'm now realizing why I had these teams set up in a way that I did. But that was 100% just a tilt surrender by him. And we are slow at this thing, and we are not killing it with a single Thunderbolt. So we will start by just clicking Thunderwave. Oh, is he on one of these like confusion teams again? I think I'll just fight through the confusion, right? Do I? He might just spam another one. But there's also a likelihood that he just switches. I don't think there's anything that this can do to us going Hypno. But it's still going to be slower, but I think he's going to be switching as well. Yep. We're Hypno on Hypno. We'll just Thunderwave him. He wins the speed type. Hopefully we don't full power up. We don't. And I think neither of us are going to be switching here. So we're going to be just exchanging seismic tosses here. And it literally just comes down to who wins the speed tie. And I get full parried. That is pretty big. Unless we win every single speed tie here. Or he gets full parried. Both of us get full parried. He gets full parried. Okay, now we're even. And as long as neither of us get... Okay, we win the speed tie, it doesn't matter. And he gets full parried. And we win the speed tie. Okay, the RNG is definitely on my side here. Now here he is definitely gonna SD. But the thing is, do we have anything? He's not killing us here. I could stay in here and risk a full para, but I'd rather just go in and spore this. Yeah, because that was obvious. He's not going to be switching here, and he's also not exploding us with anything. And this is a 100% accurate. So we'll just put him to sleep. And then we'll hit a Source Dance and start clicking a Body Slam. I don't think I care about this thing. I could paralyze it, but I'll just start clicking Stun Spore. That's fine. And we have a Sleep Absorb now. We'll go... Okay, I expected him to go into back into Sandslash, but this is still fine. Is he assuming that I'm going for Thunder Wave, I wonder? I will set up an Agility and see what we can do with that. Because we have a good matchup into a lot of his stuff. That's a big crit. And, okay, that sucks. That is really bad for us. I think I'll go for Blizzard. Okay, it's not doing anything. Okay, he misses. Bro, the hacks are out of this world. Would he predict a Blizzard? Maybe he would. I'll still go for it. He hits the Fire Blast, but we do resist it. Might be a damage roll. I would assume that he's gonna calc it. We will fish for a crit though, because it's still like, I think our best bet. So I'm clicking Blizzard here. No crit, but we put it in range, and it is a damage roll. And this thing now dies to a Blizzard, assuming we hit, but we miss, and he also misses. Gen 1 is fun. No full para though. Now we are paralyzed, and oh, he goes into his paralyzed Mon as well. I think. Oh, do we just take the guaranteed chip? We have a bunch of stuff that we can do here. I think. Do I risk a miss? I'd rather take the guaranteed chip. That's a crazy switch. Okay, it didn't end up mattering. That's a crazy call out by him, though. That's scary if we get full power once more. Okay, we don't, but we don't get a crit here either. He kills us, but we can revenge kill this with this thing. And he might have a switch in, so I'm not going to be predicting anything. I'm just clicking Surf. I'm not bothering to calc. I assume like Surf just kills there. Okay, he can boom. The question is, do we think he's going to do it immediately? I kind of think, yeah. If he poops on this, do we still deal with this other stuff? This thing also does have Thunderbolt, I think. I don't think... Let's see if he booms immediately. I'm calling out boom here with Substitute. Okay, no, just Thunderbolt. Now, what do we call out here? Oh, we'll go sack Hypno here, I think. So we get a safe switch in to... Crit definitely matters, Smile. This thing can deal with Sandslash. Isn't too good against anything else here. But it can take hits from this thing. So honestly, we just go Hitmonlee here and click Seismic Toss. He's most likely going into one of these two Mons. I want to keep Parasect around just as long as Butterfree is there, just so I have a Slap Mon already, because of Sleep Claws. 30. This should, yeah, I was going to say this shouldn't do half to us. He's probably switching here. I think if I'm him, I want to save. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, like, if I'm him, I definitely want to save this, but we are really fine with him booming there. Now, the thing here is substitute free with this thing, or this thing is paralyzed, this thing is here, and this thing is low. The only thing that I'm risking here, if he goes Sandslash and I go Sandslash, what is the risk there? We both Swords Dance, he wins the speed tie and crits me, is the only way he wins, right? Yeah, we go Sandslash every time. And this thing can stun Spore us, but I'm still clicking Swords Dance. Am I? No, I'm taking the kill. I'm so glad I did that. Whew, okay. Now the question is, if it goes his own, yeah, we're just earthquaking. If it goes on, we do want to save this thing. This thing always kills Sandslash, so as long as we get rid of this thing, I think we're good. Now the question is, do I go for? I think I fish for full para by going sub. If we go sub here, I fish for full para because there's no way Rock Slide one shots it. I think Confuse Ray can still affect me through sub, but I still think this is my best bet. Oh, so Confuse Ray doesn't go through sub. Okay, then this should be GG's. We go Swords Dance here. Okay. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's GG. I set up a Rock Slide. There's nothing he can do to break my sub in one move. And then I hit him with the Rock Slide, and then I just EQ this thing, which, even with a crit, I don't think he kills me there. Hey there, gamer.
That's fucked up. 5 turns of sleep. 5 turns of sleep, bro. I was clicking boom every time.
I'm dead ass. If you didn't quit out the first game, you win that shit. I realized immediately when the game started why I had Sandslash and Scyther in the teams that I had Sandslash and Scyther. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I mixed it with Dustox. This whole time I was like, yeah, Butterfree is bug and poison. I now look at my the first team that I used. Bug flying, normal flying, bug flying, poison, fight, fire. I just lose the Thunderbolt, and that's why I had Sandslash there instead of Scyther.
Want to know which Pokemon on my first team had Thunderbolt?
Did you have Zero?
The one that was asleep for 5 turns, and I was about to get 2-shot by a Scyther with +4.
+3, because I didn't want to go +4, because if I go +4, I think Gen 1 mechanics kick in, and if you go over 999 attack, it starts you back at 0.
Bro.
I love Swords Dance in Gen 1. Having to do intelligentness.
So I had agility on my Scyther, and then I was like, wait, this is weird. I'm gonna calc something real quick. Critting on Hyper Beam does less damage than +2 Hyper Beam.
Yeah, because crits are what, like 1.95
or something?
something. I don't remember, but yeah.
It's obviously less than 2, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you always crit, it's still better because like you'd rather be faster than lose the speed.
But you're always faster.
Yeah. Yeah, like
You're
the reason why
fastest
I went for SD on Scyther, I was thinking of going SD and agility, but then I'm like, there is 0 Mons in this format that are faster than Scyther, unless we count for paralysis, so.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's exactly the same logic that I changed my agility to wing attack with. My set was Sword Stance / wing attack Hyper Beam at the end.
But what other stuff did you have in the first team other than Mr. Com?
Mr. Com with Explosion Sludge Thunderbolt, Scyther with Sword Stance / wing attack Hyper Beam, Onyx with Explosion, Rock Slide, Body Slam, Earthquake, Parasect with Mega Drain, Stun Spore, Body Slam, and Poliwag with Psychic Amnesia, Hydro Bump, Blizzard, and Tongue with Sword Stance, Blizzard, Body Slam, Earthquake.
Gotcha. Yo, it's very funny because I was talking about like fighting types here. I'm like, fighting types are so ass here, but there's one normal type and potentially Onyx that they might be good for, and then you happen to have 2 of those in one of your teams. It's pretty neat.
The main reason why I had Onyx there was solely for the sake of having like a backup boomer, right? But at that point, I'm gonna be playing into a deficit of 2 Pokemon into 1, essentially. Like you're gonna have 5 Pokemon left to my 4, and I'm just gonna have to pray that my explosion actually does kill, because I didn't calculate. I knew that the Muck explosion should kill, but I honestly, actually no, it doesn't even kill. No, that's wheezing. Let me see. Yeah, Muck has a range of killing.
Gotcha.
With 85 to 100.
Okay, you just have
like
to
high roll. If I just high roll, it's fine. But then after that, it's like, okay, at least if this hits, I can chunk you out for enough to kill you with literally anything.
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean,
if anything hits you, you die.
not like there's anything that Scyther can hit stuff like Onyx with, for example, so you can just revenge kill it that way. But I do think if you play it out, it's 100% your dub. Because, like, in this team, my only fighting type was Primeape, and I'm not even running a fighting type move on Primeape. Because I'm like, there are so few here that I need a fighting type move for, and I do not want to be clicking submission, because that move is ass.
Yeah.
But therefore, me, the rest of the team was Flareon, a Primeape, Pidgeot, and Coughing. And there is nothing interesting in any of those sets other than the fact that the Primeape doesn't have a fighting type move.
Did you wait? Did you have Wheezing and Coughing, or what?
Wait, did I say Coughing? No, Wheezing, sorry.
Yeah.
If I said Coughing, yeah, that's my mistake. I was only talking about Wheezing. If I said Coughing, yeah, that's my bad.
Bro was thinking about coughing because you've been coughing this whole week. Got him.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but bro, at least the second game I think was a pretty like good game. But bro, it was so funny because it was. I'm pretty sure I didn't count, but I'm pretty sure like there was at least a total of like 15 to 20 hacks. Like if we count part of our size, which is really funny.
Yeah.
The fucking drowsy off with like, oh, I full para. Oh, I full power again. Oh, I went the speed type. Oh, we fought both full power. Oh, he full powered. Oh, I went the speed type. Like, it was so fucking stupid.
I guess that's Gen 1 in a nutshell.
It is really. At least, if something, at least there is only one more of this to go. And
one more.
For the grand finale, it's pulling out all the stops. And let's see whose Mewtwo lives the longest. I think like Gen 1 Mewtwo is widely regarded as the most broken Pokemon of all time.
I mean, that makes sense. It's defensively strong, and it's offensively strong, and it's fast as fuck, and it's bulky as hell. And yeah,
there are no weaknesses basically. If you could give it 6 moves, it would be the greatest one of all time. Oh, I can currently see you building your team, by the way. I mean,
I don't think it matters. I think you can probably guess what the team's straight gonna.
I mean,
like, bro. Oh, this is the wrong gen.
Assuming you change the order, because the lead might, you know.
Yeah, that might matter. So, but bro, I'm clicking psychics on both teams. As many psychics as possible, as many normal types as possible. And then just going, brrr, you know.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That is fair enough.
That's how Ubers is gonna be played.
Let me wave here.
Peak.
Man.
Peak.
It is peak. But yeah, I don't have much else to really say about this because it's like it is just the basically scraps from Gen 1 for the stuff that we use it, and like we can talk about Gen 1 and our love for the glorious generation that started it all next time when we do the final Gen 1 episode. But is there something that you want to say about the teams or something?
I overall think that this is a fairly interesting format in the sense that it's got a lot of the Pokemon that would never possibly make it above this, right? That's self-evident. But at the same time, there's a lot of Pokemon here that are kind of cool. Like Golbat is pretty cool, I think. Butterfree is pretty fun. Weezing is kind of strong. Like the general power level being so low as it is, and the general lack of psychic types means that you can play poison types, which have been completely shut out from anything above this. Because psychic types just completely will. A single Abra just fucking kills all poison types. Like the only thing that can maybe fucking kill the Abra is fucking Muck or Weezing exploding on it, right?
Pretty much.
But that's about it. So a single non-evolved Abra can just kill poison types in above formats. So poison types, ground and rock types, ground types are pretty good overall. I think that above tiers because of the fact that you can use them to obviously nullify electric moves, but still. And even bug types are pretty good here. Bug types are also kind of just fucked up in the higher tiers. So getting to play Parasect, Scyther is pretty neat.
Yeah.
So, well,
I did also hear
that's about
like
it.
last time when you were talking about the like PU stuff, like you seem to like the at least that's the vibe I got that you seem like these like lower power formats more. Am I
Mhm.
correct in that?
I agree. I legitimately prefer the idea of having to scrounge together scraps to make a team than to be like, I'm gonna put in the 6 best Pokemon in the format, and it's gonna be fucking. I at the Gen 1 OU team was the exact same as my Uber's team,
Mm-hmm.
minus Mewtwo. Flat
Fair.
screen, bro.
That's
Flat
fair.
screen.
And like it's especially polarizing in Gen 1 when obviously the pool of available stuff is so low, and then obviously for the especially like for the top end of it, like it's so clear. Like these are the goats. These are what you're gonna
Yeah,
run with. I think
these are by far the strongest. So
yeah. It's kinda neat like for like one thing I guess like with the early gens is like having the entire evolution lines like of some mons be actually really good Pokemon, like especially when it's like a 3-stage evolution. Like
yeah,
Ghastly Haunter, Gengar, Abracadabra, and Alakazam, like all of those mons being in their respective tiers, like some of the best mons. And I guess like even to a lesser degree, like something like Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath, like
yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
neat.
Like those Poliwrath and fucking Poliwhirl are in the same tier though, which is kind of weird, I think.
It,
But yes,
I think it's for because the thing about the difference between this is that Poliwrath actually loses speed when it evolves. Poliwhirl being faster.
does
Yeah, Poliwhirl is 90 base speed and Poliwrath is 70. And 90 is actually a really good speed tier,
wow.
especially in like the format that it's in, because speed time with stuff like Mr. Mime and Moltres is actually a really big deal. So
Yeah,
it's most likely for that, because like a a
no
90
idea.
base speed water type, if you put it in the tier below it, a 90 base speed water type in that tier, I actually wouldn't be surprised
Wait,
if it was there at some point. Because now when I'm looking at PU, the speed tiers are 80, 85, 85, 85, 85. Like half the tier is 85 or 80s. So
yeah,
Poliwhirl just being base 5 speeds uh, higher than those, and essentially when it comes in, getting to set up a amnesia for free, it would be
yeah.
probably fucking broken in the tier. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was there previously and it just got banned from PU, because like the speed
Yeah,
tier
just
just
moved up
gives it
to
an insane advantage, and I
yeah.
don't think
I
they
th-
have
uh,
BLs in
I
Gen
think
1.
the only Pokemon in this tier that could actually like yeah, the only Pokemon that can outspeed it are Rapidash and Abra. With Abra being like a fairly decent answer to it, but at the same time, like Rapidash being faster than it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, you're
It's not
not
gonna hurt it.
OHKOing it with anything, and you just die to
Yeah,
surf.
and if they just click Amnesia, it's fucking GG. Pretty sure. We
Mm,
actually see.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that Poliwhirl will just be broken in that tier, so that's probably why. Like I don't think there would be a lot of. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess also like the thing is that you do not want to be a fighting type in Gen 1. So also the fact that Poliwrath
Oh
gains the
yeah,
fighting typing is
that's a minus.
basically
Minus.
just a negative for it, because getting a uh, weakness to psychic is such a bad thing to have, and water only being weak to grass, which there aren't that many good grass type moves, and then electric is actually a really good defensive typing.
Yeah.
Shout out
I guess
Poliwhirl.
that's why we talked about Magneton.
Yeah,
Yeah, Poliwhirl was
exactly.
pretty fucking good actually. Neither of us played it, did we? No, you played Poliwhirl, right?
Oh, I play
I didn't have
Poliwrath.
it in you. Oh, you played Poliwrath. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah, that makes sense.
think this is the I had a Seadra in the team with agility, so I deemed like I would rather have a more bulkier water type next to it, because it would have been like kind of weird to have just two like fast water types as my like setup sweepers. So that's why I decided to go for Poliwrath over it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
like
makes sense.
it's interesting.
Mhm.
There is interesting stuff in Gen 1.
Yeah, Gen 1's got cool stuff as long as you're not playing you. fucking OU.
As long as you're not playing the games itself and wishing for different hacks to happen. But sorry, I cut you off. You were about to say something.
The namings conventions. I didn't see more than 2 Pokemon on your first team, and I didn't pay attention to them because I was too busy looking at my 5 turns of sleep.
Oh yeah. What were yours for the first team?
My first team was Verimuru, Kirito, Kiaru,
I
Komoko,
see.
Kawazu, Rudius.
Is it
which
just like
are
protagonists from anime?
Isekai protagonists.
I see.
Generic
specific-
shitty Isekai protagonist. Then my second team was Bato Bato, Nemu Nemu, Noko Noko, Mera Mera, Doku Doku, Toge Toge.
I see.
Which I think is self-evident.
Yes. For the first team, it was Butter, Buhehe. Butter is Butterfree. Buhehe is Flareon. Bro is Primeape. Bird is Pidgeot. Balls. And then in brackets, 2 was Weezing. And Bro Kills You 69X was Scyther. But obviously it was initially supposed to be Sandslash, so just Ball. And then in brackets 1. And then Weezing was Balls in brackets 2. Everything started with B. Yippee. And
okay.
And for the other team, it was Cam being the Dragonair, Eepy Guy being Drowsy, Edgar Williams III being Parasect, Lee being Hitmonlee, Ted being Tentacle, and Franklin the Sandslash. There is nothing there. There was no theme. I was like, Parasect is going to be called Edgar Williams III. I don't know if that's a real person, but it sounds like he's royalty, and I mean... Having access in Gen 1 to a 100% accurate sleep move, I think he might as well be king.
I legitimately didn't even realize that Spore existed in Gen 1.
Yeah, it was exclusive to the Paras line.
Which, like, blows me away, because to me it feels like this Pokemon could have maybe been in above tiers if it had a slightly better typing, just because of Spore.
Or access to... 80 moves essentially. It was...
Well, that's a grass type issue because grass types have no moves.
Yeah,
they only have Solar Beam and Razor Leaf and Mega Drain, right?
I literally decided to go like, all right, give me the Spore Stun Spore combo and Sword Stand Body Slam, so I can Spore something and I don't need to switch away, and I can just set up a couple of Sword Dances. If it wakes up, I'm so bulky, I'm putting it back to sleep, and then I'm clicking Body Slam. If you want to just die to it and then get your next thing spored, that's perfectly fine. If not, and you're swapping, then there's a 30% chance that you're hitting with Paralysis. That was the idea there.
I do think it's kind of a menace against a lot of this stuff, especially because there's not many... there's Flareon and Magmar, right? Which I tried to use to check it, but I think Magmar is incapable of killing it.
Yeah,
I don't think Magmar one-shots it, even with 4x.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, I was like, I think Slowpoke is good, I think Tentacle is good, I think Onix is good. I was like, looking at stuff, I'm like, there is no fucking shot I'm putting a fire type in both of my teams. I just wanted to use Flareon because... I think Flareon, like, throughout the times is probably the worst evolution almost always. And
it's a split attacker, right? It's a...
I mean, especially now, yeah, like, obviously, your stab coming off your worst stat is not really great. It has a pretty bad speed tier for the bulk, and I was like, I mean, Gen 1, it at least has good special defense, and in this one, like, the competition isn't crazy, so that's like, I'm putting it in a team because I think I'm not very likely to do that again in the future. So that was the idea there, but I don't think fire types are in a great position in, like, this tier. I think, like, tell me, okay, 3 best Pokemon in the tier, go.
What?
3 best Pokemon in this tier.
3 best Pokemon. Scyther. I'm honestly thinking that Muck is pretty strong because it's got fairly good bulk, it's got good coverage, it's got explosion, it can deal with a lot of stuff. It can't kill Scyther, which makes it like worse than Scyther,
okay,
obviously.
Actually, that's brings a more interesting point. Let me change the question. Do you think which one do you think is better, Weezing or Muck?
I didn't really consider that. For me, I would have to say Muck purely because of the fact that I prefer Muck. It's got higher attack, if I remember correctly, and higher sludge stab, obviously, at that point.
Yeah,
Does more
it's
damage. And explosion more
essentially
damage.
it's Muck is more HP and a better attack stat, slightly slower, and Whizzing is slightly faster and better special, and thanks to that, like basically the bulk is better. So like obviously their bulk is still comparable, one of them being of a higher HP stat, one of them being of a higher like defensive stats. And then like because both of them have really similar move pools, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Like
one thing.
my Weezing essentially had the same move pool that I was considering for my Muck, which is Explosion, Thunderbolt, Sludge, Fire Blast. I think the only difference is that Weezing can't get Body Slam.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
main
literally would be the same. Same for both. Because I ended up, you ended up playing both.
Yeah, I played one on the first team and Weezing on the second.
Yeah. Now for me, like I decided I mean I didn't want to go into like me personally I didn't want to go into double poison types even though like there aren't that many crazy psychics. I was still like Drowsy is so fucking scary and I think like Slowpoke is fine, but I was still like I do not wanna play into or use double poison types when there is Sandslash, which I think is pretty good. I think it's like Sandslash and Scyther were probably the best setup sweepers in this tier. So like that was really scary. And then also like just having a bunch of the Earthquakers and then like I figured like I think Drowsy is also like one of the best ones here just through having access to Thunderwave and Hypnosis and also obviously just being able to click Psychic. But I ended up like preferring Weezing over Muck purely for the higher special because I thought that I would be more likely to click Fire Blast and Thunderbolt than to click Sludge or Explosion. But I think they're very neck and neck. But I think like both of those ones are like insane. And then I mean I think just because Gen 1 sleep mechanics, I think Parasect is really good. And I also think Scyther is really good.
I think, I have to agree on Parasect. I think Parasect is. I think Spore is just terrifying. Like, if I play this format more, I think I would grow to despise Spore. Yeah. Because I think Spore itself is like something that this whole meta game would end up having to warp around a low.
The fact
you have to like always respect the fact that you can always get slept if you can't kill it.
Yeah, because like even with sleep powder like being 74 and something % accurate, it's scary because the fact that there is a chance that you're losing 8 turns to sleep is fucking insanity.
Yep.
8 turns is so insane. And the fact that it's like, okay, now the status is potentially completely broken. And now we're removing the aspect like, okay, well, you're only hitting it 3/4 out of the time, which is actually not that likely. And at the end of the day, we're considering Pokemon odds. If it's not 95 or above, it might as well be 20. So yeah, it's fucking terrifying. So I think like just for that, like Parasect is so fucking crazy. But yeah, I think that's enough yapping about ZU. I will let you continue what you have, and thank you for watching. And as we established, next time is the finale of Generation 1. Thank God.
Although how long have we been on this now? Wait, 2 months?
This is the 5th week. It's OU, UU, NU, PU, ZU.
Alright. Oh boy. Crazy.
Yeah, initially you thought that it was going to be, or we thought it was going to be 2 months because we didn't consider like, hey, we can record in advance or on schedule. So it was going to be like 3 weeks in a month. That's what the 2 months was for. But yeah, we're going to get out of here like earlier than that, luckily. Although, to be fair, I don't know if Gen 2 is going to be a lot better.
Okay.
But at least...
To be fair to Gen 2.
Yeah.
Status moves against sub work correctly, right?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
And then, like... So... it already... It fixes a lot of... Like, I do think it's better. I think the meta, as we will probably see pretty quickly, of Gen 2 is very fucking different and very fucking boring. But I will say, I am not gonna miss being like, why the fuck am I clicking an ice move against a fire type? I am not gonna miss trap moves, because I don't think trap moves were ever relevant apart from Gen 1. And honestly, I think good riddance. I don't think they're so fucking boring. I am not gonna miss. I'm not gonna miss setting up your speed in order to get some crits. There's a lot of stuff I'm not gonna miss from this.
I'm gonna miss the inconsistent like functionality of certain things, like the fact that Confuse Ray doesn't work against sub, but everything else that works against sub is, in my mind, fucking weird.
The thing is, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty. If I had to put money on this, I'm pretty sure in later generations, Confuse Ray goes through Substitute, because sound moves go through Substitute, and in my mind, like I think like because Supersonic goes through Substitute because it's a sound move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
but that's a sound move. So,
like in my mind, Confuse Ray is similar, but maybe it's not. But yeah, like that's the thing that's funny to me, is like I could see that like going through sub, like, and it makes sense in later generation, and then here it's like, oh, this shit gets stopped by Substitute when all the powder moves go through. Why?
Wait, who did I use it on actually?
It was a what do I have? It was my tentacle. No.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, tentacle or Sand Slash, but yeah.
If for some reason it didn't affect the normal type. So.
Yeah, no.
That would have been like.
It affects everything. Like it literally just doesn't hit through sub, which is weird. It was literally like when that happened, like I think I literally said like I think I just go for sub here. If he goes for Confuse Ray, I'm not sure if it hits through. Even if it hits through, I think it's worth for me getting a sub on, because he can't break my sub in one hit anyway. And then it just gets blocked by sub, and I'm like, all right, well that's just GG's.
Yeah.
Because at that point, like I was. Otherwise, I would have probably just spammed Rock Slide, but at that point, I just get a free source chance, and then just Rock Slide kills Golbat, and Earthquake kills your Sand Slash, and even with a crit, you are not killing my Sand Slash back, so.
Yeah. Important note, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We gave held items in Gen 2.
Yeah.
Which are also going to make it a lot more interesting, I think. Because so far, the team building has largely just... Actually, we get EVs and IVs too, right?
I think those are Gen 3.
Are they? Wait, let me see.
I'm pretty sure it's still... The special stat gets split.
Yeah, that's that much I know.
I might be misremembering. I'll have to check that, but...
Where's all you?
But yeah, for... Well...
Oh, yeah.
The amount of viable held items is not very large.
No, but
it's a step in the right direction for sure.
There's berries, there's things that boost your attack. You know.
It's definitely like it's more interesting, and I do think like it's gonna be more interesting than Gen 1 for sure. But I do think like Gen 3 is when everything really kicks off, and then Gen 4 when finally the physical special split happens. Finally, I don't have to think about that stuff anymore, and I'm gonna be like, that's when it really kicks off for me personally. But I am personally the most excited for now on Gen 3, because that's a metagame that I never got to experience, and I think there's a lot there.
Physical special split happens on Gen 4.
Yeah.
That's
when I started, so that's always been the norm for me. That's why it's so weird for me. But yeah, like the major things are like in the first 4 generation, where Gen 2 held items, Gen 3 EVs and abilities, Gen 4 physical special split. There's obviously other stuff there like Gen 5 hidden abilities and stuff like that, but the big stuff like that, like in the core gameplay of Pokemon, happens in the first 4 generations, and then it becomes normal. This is like charge characters, not normal. It's not normal. They're not normal.
What do you mean by that?
But now,
what do you mean by this?
We've been yapping for a long while, and I'm sick of my voice being half there. So today I'm actually gonna rest it. So I will leave you be. Enjoy the rest of your stream. I will be joining in later. And thanks for the games. And
Thanks for playing.
I will see you tomorrow for Yu-Gi-Oh! And we will see you next week for the end of Generation 1 Ubers, when we're clicking Psychic on each other's Mewtwo's and seeing who gets the special drop first and wins the game off that 33% roll.
I'm so excited!
I'm so glad we're going to be getting out of here. But thanks for watching. We'll see you gamers next time. Peace.